As Buddha once said, hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. This powerful statement reminds us that responding to negativity with negativity only fuels the cycle of disrespect and suffering. Instead, embracing understanding and compassion can transform difficult situations and lead to peace. In today's video, titled, "Do This and No One Will Disrespect You Ever Again," we will explore 15 Buddhist tips that will help you handle disrespect gracefully and ensure that you are treated with the respect you deserve. Disrespect can come in many forms. It might be someone talking down to you, ignoring your opinions, or treating you unfairly. It hurts, and it's often hard to deal with without losing your cool. Buddhism teaches us that every interaction is an opportunity for personal growth and enlightenment. This video will equip you with the wisdom to turn disrespectful encounters into chances for deepening your own practice of mindfulness, patience, and compassion. You'll learn practical steps to maintain your dignity and composure, even when faced with challenging people or situations. We will cover tips such as practicing mindfulness to stay aware and focused, cultivating compassion to understand where others are coming from, and using wise speech to communicate clearly and kindly. Each tip is designed to help you build a foundation of respect, not just from others, but within yourself. By the end of this video, you'll not only know how to handle moments of disrespect more effectively, but also how to foster an environment of mutual respect wherever you go. These teachings aren't just theories, they're practical applications that can be used at work, in relationships, and during everyday interactions. So, if you're ready to change how you respond to disrespect and transform your interactions, keep watching. In our journey through life, we often encounter situations where we feel undervalued or misunderstood. This is what we call disrespect. Disrespect can take many forms. It might be as clear as someone speaking rudely to us, or as subtle as an unreturned phone call, suggesting that our time isn't valued. At times, it could be someone making decisions that affect us without our input, implying that our opinions don't matter. Why do we experience or perceive disrespect? Often, it stems from the other person's struggles, insecurities, or lack of awareness, rather than a deliberate intention to belittle us. Sometimes it's also a matter of perspective. What feels disrespectful to one person might not be intended as such by another. Understanding these nuances is crucial because it helps us respond not just with our immediate feelings, but with insight and wisdom. By recognizing the roots and forms of disrespect, we can better navigate our responses and foster more respectful interactions. Buddhist understanding of respect and disrespect. From the Buddhist perspective, every interaction we have is an opportunity to practice the virtues of compassion and understanding. This approach is rooted in the core teachings of Buddhism, which emphasize the interconnectedness of all beings and the importance of treating others with kindness and respect. Buddhism teaches us that how we treat others reflects our inner state, and that by fostering positive interactions, we are nurturing our own peace and the peace of those around us. In Buddhism, compassion isn't just a passive feeling of sympathy. It's an active practice of wishing well for others and taking steps to contribute to their happiness and well-being. This involves listening attentively, speaking kindly, and acting in ways that support others' dignity. When we interact with others, we are encouraged to put aside our judgments and preconceptions and to approach each situation with a fresh perspective of openness and empathy. Understanding plays a crucial role here. It involves seeing beyond the surface of people's actions to comprehend the deeper motivations and circumstances that drive them. This is particularly relevant when we encounter disrespect. According to Buddhist teachings, acts of disrespect are often not about the recipient, but rather a reflection of the perpetrator's own inner turmoil or suffering. People may act disrespectfully out of their own pain, ignorance, or discontent, which clouds their ability to interact harmoniously. Buddhism teaches us that responding to disrespect with anger or resentment only perpetuates suffering. Instead, we are guided to look inward and ask why an act of disrespect has affected us so profoundly. This self-reflection can lead to greater personal growth and emotional resilience. By understanding our own reactions, we can better control them and choose responses that align with our values and aspirations for peace. Furthermore, when we perceive disrespect, Buddhism encourages us to practice patience and give others the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps they are unaware of their hurtful actions, or maybe they are struggling with difficulties we know nothing about. By responding with empathy rather than retaliation, we have the potential to turn a negative encounter into a positive one, possibly even enlightening the other person to a more respectful way of being. Lesson 1. Practice mindfulness. Lesson 1 in our journey of handling disrespect with grace is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness, a fundamental element of Buddhist practice, involves maintaining a moment-by-moment awareness of our thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and the surrounding environment. By cultivating mindfulness, we equip ourselves to respond to life's challenges, including disrespect, with greater composure and insight. When faced with disrespect, our instinctive reactions can often escalate the situation. These knee-jerk responses are usually emotional, such as anger or frustration, and they can make us say or do things we might later regret. Mindfulness helps us pause and assess the situation before reacting. This pause is crucial. It provides us the space to calm our initial emotional surge and consider more thoughtful, respectful responses. Practicing mindfulness in moments of disrespect involves a few key steps. Notice and acknowledge. Recognize your emotional response without judgment. Simply acknowledge that you're feeling upset, angry, or hurt. This acknowledgement is the first step in regaining control over your reactions. Breathe and reflect. Take a deep breath to help soothe your immediate emotional reactions. Use this time to reflect on why the remark or action might have upset you and whether there is a deeper issue at play. Respond intentionally. Choose how to respond rather than simply reacting. This response should align with your values and the outcome you desire, such as maintaining your dignity and possibly educating the other person on respect. By staying mindful, you not only prevent knee-jerk reactions, but also cultivate a presence that is less likely to be shaken by others' disrespectful behaviors. This steady presence often commands respect in itself and can influence others to mirror your calm demeanor. Over time, mindfulness builds your resilience, allowing you to navigate through disrespectful encounters with wisdom and equanimity. This practice doesn't just change how you respond to disrespect. It transforms your entire approach to interacting with the world, promoting a life of peace and respect. Lesson 2. Cultivate compassion. In our exploration of Buddhist strategies to counteract disrespect, Lesson 2 emphasizes the importance of cultivating compassion. Compassion in Buddhism is more than just feeling sympathy for someone. It involves actively wishing for the happiness and relief of others, and taking steps to bring those wishes to fruition. When we encounter disrespect, our first reaction might be to respond with similar negativity. However, cultivating compassion allows us to see beyond the immediate behavior of the other person and to understand the deeper struggles they might be facing. People often act out in disrespectful ways, not because they inherently wish to harm others, but because they are dealing with their own pain, stress, or frustration. Here's how cultivating compassion can transform our response to disrespect. Understanding the source. Compassion helps us to consider that disrespectful actions might stem from the other person's personal issues, insecurities, or ignorance. Recognizing this can decrease our feelings of anger and personal affront, seeing the behavior as a call for help rather than a deliberate attack. Responding with kindness. With a compassionate mindset, we can choose to respond in a way that might alleviate the other person's suffering instead of exacerbating it. This could mean offering kind words instead of criticism, or simply choosing to not escalate the situation further. Healing and connection. Compassion opens the door to healing. By responding to negativity with understanding and kindness, we can sometimes turn a potentially hostile interaction into a moment of connection and learning. Even if the other person doesn't change their behavior, our compassionate response can leave us with a clearer conscience and less emotional turmoil. Personal growth. Practicing compassion also contributes to our own personal development. It challenges us to grow in patience, kindness, and resilience, fostering qualities that enhance our interactions across all areas of life. To cultivate compassion, start by trying to understand the people around you, particularly when their behavior disappoints or hurts you. Reflect on what might be going on in their lives, and whenever possible, extend a gesture of kindness. Over time, this practice not only changes how we react to disrespect, but also deepens our overall sense of peace and fulfillment. Through compassion, we not only navigate disrespect more effectively, but also contribute to a more empathetic and understanding world. This practice isn't just about improving our own lives, it's about making the world a better place, one interaction at a time. Lesson 3. Develop patience. Developing patience is our third lesson in transforming how we handle disrespect. Patience is a cherished virtue in Buddhism, regarded as a protective shield against afflictive emotions like anger and frustration. It allows us to maintain peace of mind and think clearly under pressure, particularly in challenging interactions. When faced with disrespect, whether it's through harsh words or dismissive actions, our immediate response might be to react impulsively. However, patience empowers us to take a step back, absorb the impact, and consider a thoughtful response. This capacity to wait and not react hastily is essential in preventing situations from escalating and in maintaining our dignity and respect. Here's how developing patience can change our approach to handling disrespect. Slowing down reactions. Patience slows down our emotional responses. By not reacting immediately, we give ourselves time to process the situation, understand the context, and evaluate the best course of action. This moment of pause is crucial for preventing regrettable decisions made in the heat of the moment. Enhancing understanding. With patience, we can better analyze the motives behind someone's disrespectful behavior. This deeper understanding may reveal that the disrespect was not intentional or was influenced by external pressures the individual was facing. Understanding these factors can soften our response and guide us toward forgiveness. Building emotional resilience. Regularly practicing patience strengthens our emotional resilience, making us less susceptible to the negative effects of disrespect. This resilience helps us remain composed and confident, reducing the emotional toll such interactions often take. Improving relationships. Patience contributes to healthier, more stable relationships. By responding to potential conflicts with patience, we often prevent misunderstandings and foster a more forgiving and supportive environment. To cultivate patience, start by recognizing situations that trigger impulsive reactions. Practice taking deep breaths in these moments to center yourself. Reflect on the temporary nature of the conflict and remind yourself that a calm and considered response is more likely to lead to a positive resolution. Incorporating patience into our daily lives does not just help us manage moments of disrespect. It also enriches our overall quality of life. It teaches us to appreciate the process of growth and the journey of interactions, rather than just focusing on outcomes. As we develop patience, we not only become better equipped to handle disrespect, but also move closer to living a more mindful and peaceful life. Lesson 4. Use wise speech. The fourth lesson in handling disrespect thoughtfully is to practice wise speech. Wise speech is a key teaching in Buddhism that emphasizes speaking truthfully, kindly, and with consideration for others. It's about choosing our words carefully to ensure that our communication is clear, beneficial, and fosters understanding rather than conflict. When we encounter situations of disrespect, it's easy for misunderstandings to escalate quickly if our words are reactive rather than reflective. By using wise speech, we can prevent these misunderstandings and potentially diffuse tension. This involves being mindful of not only what we say, but how we say it, ensuring that our intent and meaning are clear. Here's how using wise speech can transform our interactions, especially in challenging situations. Promoting clarity. Wise speech involves being clear and precise with our words. This clarity prevents others from misinterpreting our messages, which is a common source of conflict. When we articulate our thoughts and feelings clearly, we leave little room for misunderstanding. Fostering respect. By choosing words that are respectful and considerate, we set a tone that encourages reciprocation. If someone approaches us with disrespect, responding with calm and composed language can often surprise them into reconsidering their approach. Encouraging positivity. Wise speech also means avoiding harmful language, such as insults or derogatory comments, and instead focusing on positive, constructive communication. This positivity can change the dynamic of an interaction, steering it toward a more respectful and collaborative outcome. Building bridges. Thoughtful communication can help in building understanding and empathy between people. Even in the face of disrespect, our choice to use wise speech can open up a pathway to reconciliation and mutual respect. To practice wise speech, begin by taking a moment to think before you speak, especially when emotions are high. Ask yourself if what you are about to say is true, necessary, and kind. Consider the best way to convey your message so that it is received well, and be open to listening to the other person's response. This practice not only helps in managing moments of disrespect, but also enhances your overall communication skills, making your interactions more meaningful and effective. Through wise speech, we not only prevent misunderstandings, but also cultivate a more compassionate and understanding environment, paving the way for healthier and more respectful relationships. Lesson 5. Maintain self-respect. The fifth lesson in navigating the challenges of disrespect is to maintain self-respect. Self-respect is the recognition of one's own value and worth, and it is fundamental to how we interact with the world. When we have a strong sense of self-respect, it influences not only our own actions, but also how others perceive and treat us. Maintaining self-respect means honoring your own needs, values, and boundaries. It involves treating yourself with the same kindness and respect you wish to receive from others. This internal sense of dignity is visible externally. It manifests in your behavior, your communication, and even in your posture and expressions. Here's how maintaining self-respect can influence how others treat you. Setting a standard. When you treat yourself with respect and dignity, you set a standard for how others should treat you. People are often influenced by how they see you treating yourself. If you demonstrate that you value yourself and will not tolerate disrespect, others are more likely to approach you with the respect that you show yourself. Building confidence. Self-respect contributes to a strong, confident demeanor. This confidence can deter individuals from treating you poorly, as they recognize your self-assurance and your unwillingness to accept less than you deserve. Confidence can be a powerful deterrent to potential disrespect. Encouraging respectful interactions. By maintaining self-respect, you naturally command respect from others. Your interactions are likely to be more balanced and mutually respectful because you approach them from a place of self-assurance and equality. Promoting healthy relationships. Self-respect is crucial for healthy relationships. It helps you to establish and enforce healthy boundaries, which are essential for any respectful interaction. When you are clear about your boundaries, it communicates to others what is acceptable and what is not, helping to prevent misunderstandings and disrespectful behavior. To cultivate and maintain self-respect, start by recognizing your intrinsic worth. Engage in practices that enhance your well-being and happiness. Reflect on your values and ensure that your actions align with them. Learn to assert your needs and boundaries clearly and respectfully in all your interactions. Maintaining self-respect isn't just about influencing how others treat you. It's about creating a life that is reflective of your true worth. As you grow in self-respect, you'll find that not only do your interactions become more respectful, but your overall quality of life improves as you align more closely with your values and desires. Lesson 6. Setting boundaries. The sixth lesson in our exploration of handling disrespect is about the importance of setting boundaries. Boundaries are essential guidelines we set for ourselves and others on what is acceptable and what isn't. They help define our personal space, our limits, and our expectations in relationships and interactions. Proper boundaries are crucial for maintaining both self-respect and mutual respect in any relationship. Setting boundaries effectively can significantly reduce the frequency and impact of disrespectful behavior. It involves clearly communicating your limits in a way that is assertive and respectful. Boundaries are not about building walls, but rather about bridging understanding between individuals, ensuring that interactions remain respectful and considerate. Here's how setting boundaries can transform your interactions. Clarifying expectations. Clearly defined boundaries help others understand how to interact with you respectfully. When people know what is expected, they are less likely to unintentionally cross lines that can lead to feelings of disrespect. Preventing resentment. By setting boundaries, you prevent situations that might lead to resentment. When your limits are respected, you're more likely to feel positive and valued in your interactions. This also helps others by providing clear rules that prevent them from inadvertently causing upset. Enhancing personal empowerment. Knowing you can set and enforce boundaries effectively boosts your confidence and sense of autonomy. This empowerment is integral to developing self-respect and asserting your needs in a healthy, balanced way. Fostering healthier relationships. Boundaries are foundational to healthy relationships. They create a safe space for genuine interaction and ensure that both parties engage with each other respectfully and thoughtfully. This mutual understanding promotes a healthier, more respectful relationship dynamic. To set boundaries effectively, start by understanding and acknowledging your own needs and limits. Communicate these clearly to those around you, ideally before conflicts arise. Be consistent in enforcing your boundaries and do so with kindness and assertiveness. It's also important to respect others' boundaries, as this encourages a reciprocal understanding and respect. Setting and maintaining boundaries is a skill that benefits all aspects of life. It not only protects you from disrespect, but also enhances your interactions, making them more fulfilling and mutually respectful. As you practice this skill, you'll find that your relationships and daily interactions become more aligned with your values and expectations. Lesson 7. Avoiding confrontation. The seventh lesson in addressing disrespect thoughtfully is learning the art of avoiding unnecessary confrontation. While it's important to stand up for ourselves, not every disrespectful encounter warrants a direct confrontation. Sometimes, avoiding confrontation can be a strategic choice that preserves our peace and prevents situations from escalating. Avoiding confrontation doesn't mean ignoring disrespect or letting others walk over us. Instead, it's about choosing battles wisely and recognizing when engaging might cause more harm than good. It's a practice of discernment, where we assess the potential benefits and drawbacks of confronting an issue directly. Here's how avoiding confrontation can be beneficial. Reducing stress. Engaging in confrontations can be emotionally draining and stressful. By choosing to avoid unnecessary confrontations, you conserve your emotional energy for more productive and positive endeavors. Maintaining focus. Sometimes, confrontations can distract us from more important goals or tasks at hand. By avoiding these distractions, we maintain our focus on what truly matters, whether in our personal or professional lives. Promoting peace. By steering clear of confrontations, especially in situations where they are unlikely to yield positive outcomes, you contribute to a more peaceful environment. This approach can also influence others to handle conflicts more calmly and constructively. Building emotional intelligence. Knowing when to avoid confrontation requires a high level of emotional intelligence. It involves understanding and managing your emotions, as well as empathizing with others. This skill is crucial for navigating all relationships and interactions effectively. To practice avoiding unnecessary confrontations, start by assessing the significance of the disrespect. Ask yourself whether the issue at hand will matter in the long term or if it's a minor setback. Consider the emotional state and intentions of the other person. Could they be acting out of stress or misunderstanding? If a confrontation seems unlikely to resolve the issue, or if it could escalate tensions, it might be wise to let it go. Furthermore, you can use strategies such as changing the subject, using humor to lighten the mood, or simply excusing yourself from a heated situation. These tactics can help diffuse potential confrontations before they escalate. By mastering the art of avoiding unnecessary confrontations, you enhance your ability to handle disrespect with grace and wisdom. This skill not only preserves your inner peace, but also helps maintain harmony in your interactions with others. Lesson 8. Reflecting on one's own behavior. The eighth lesson in our series on managing disrespect is reflecting on one's own behavior. This practice involves taking a step back and examining how our actions and reactions may contribute to conflicts or misunderstandings. Self-reflection is a fundamental aspect of Buddhist teachings and is crucial for personal growth and improving our interactions with others. Reflecting on our own behavior helps us to understand the dynamics of our interactions more clearly. It allows us to identify if we are inadvertently disrespecting others or if our actions might be perceived as provocative. This awareness can be a powerful tool for changing our behavior and preventing future conflicts. Here's how reflecting on your own behavior can transform your approach to handling disrespect. Increasing self-awareness. Regular self-reflection enhances your understanding of your own values, triggers, and typical responses to conflict. This increased self-awareness helps you to make more conscious choices in your interactions, aligning your actions more closely with your principles. Identifying patterns. Reflecting on your behavior can reveal patterns that may be contributing to repeated conflicts. For example, you might discover that you tend to respond defensively to criticism, which could escalate situations. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward changing them. Improving relationships. By understanding your role in interactions, you can take proactive steps to mend and improve your relationships. Apologizing for your part in a misunderstanding, for instance, can open the door to reconciliation and build deeper mutual respect. Cultivating humility. Self-reflection fosters humility, as it involves acknowledging that we are not always right and that our perspective is just one of many. This humility can make us more approachable and easier to connect with, reducing the likelihood of disrespect from others. To practice effective self-reflection, make it a regular habit to review your day or specific interactions that didn't go as planned. Ask yourself what you could have done differently and what you can learn from those experiences. It's important to approach this practice with kindness towards yourself, avoiding harsh self-criticism, which can be counterproductive. Additionally, seeking feedback from trusted friends or colleagues can provide valuable insights into how others perceive your actions. This external perspective can complement your self-assessment and help you make more informed adjustments to your behavior. By regularly reflecting on your own behavior, you not only become more adept at handling disrespect gracefully, but also contribute to creating a more respectful and understanding environment around you. This self-reflection leads to personal growth and more harmonious interactions in all areas of your life. Lesson 9. Seeking understanding, not victory. The 9th lesson in dealing with disrespect thoughtfully is to prioritize understanding over winning an argument. This approach is deeply rooted in Buddhist teachings, which emphasize harmony and enlightenment over personal ego and victory. When faced with disrespect or disagreement, aiming for mutual understanding rather than trying to win the conversation can lead to more positive outcomes and lasting respect. Seeking understanding involves listening actively to the other person's perspective, asking clarifying questions, and expressing your own views in a way that is open and non-confrontational. This approach helps to de-escalate conflicts and fosters a spirit of cooperation and empathy. Here's how focusing on understanding rather than victory can transform interactions. Reducing conflict. When both parties focus on understanding each other's viewpoints, the likelihood of conflict escalation decreases. This focus helps to find common ground, or at least respect for differing opinions, which can diffuse tension and lead to more amicable resolutions. Enhancing communication. Seeking to understand encourages clearer and more effective communication. It prompts both sides to express their thoughts and feelings more fully and honestly, which can prevent misunderstandings that might lead to disrespect. Building stronger relationships. Relationships strengthened by mutual understanding are typically more resilient and fulfilling. When people feel understood, they are more likely to respect and trust each other, which is essential for any healthy relationship. Promoting personal growth. Trying to understand different perspectives can broaden your own worldview and enhance your emotional intelligence. This growth not only improves your ability to handle disrespect, but also enriches your overall life experiences. To practice seeking understanding, start by reminding yourself in moments of potential conflict that the goal is not to win, but to understand. Approach conversations with curiosity rather than defensiveness. Listen more than you speak, and when you do speak, frame your words in a way that shows you are open to dialogue rather than closed off to other perspectives. Additionally, acknowledge when you don't fully understand the other person's point of view and ask for more information rather than making assumptions. This shows a genuine interest in what they are saying and a commitment to resolving the issue together. By prioritizing understanding over victory, you not only navigate moments of disrespect more effectively, but also contribute to a more compassionate and wise way of interacting with the world. This lesson helps turn everyday interactions into opportunities for connection and personal growth, rather than conflict and division. Lesson 10. Practicing humility. The 10th lesson in managing disrespect effectively is to practice humility. In Buddhist philosophy, humility is viewed not as weakness, but as a profound strength. It involves recognizing our own limitations and accepting that we don't have all the answers. This awareness can dramatically shift how we handle situations of disrespect or conflict, fostering a more open and respectful communication environment. Humility allows us to approach interactions with a willingness to listen and learn, rather than dominate or dictate. This mindset can prevent many conflicts from arising and can ease tensions when they do occur. It encourages us to consider other perspectives and acknowledge the value in them, which can lead to deeper understanding and respect. Here's how practicing humility can transform your approach to handling disrespect. Encouraging openness. When you exhibit humility, others are more likely to engage openly with you. Recognizing that you are approachable and willing to consider their viewpoints can make others feel respected and valued, reducing the likelihood of disrespect. Facilitating learning. Humility opens the door to learning from every situation and from every person you encounter. By admitting that you don't know everything, you allow yourself the opportunity to grow and improve from your interactions, even challenging ones. Reducing defensive reactions. Practicing humility can help minimize defensive reactions to criticism or perceived slights. When you don't take things personally and instead view feedback or disagreements as opportunities to learn, you reduce the emotional charge of confrontations. Enhancing relationships. Humility fosters a more egalitarian atmosphere where all parties can feel safe to express themselves. This equality can strengthen relationships as it is built on mutual respect and the understanding that everyone has something valuable to contribute. To practice humility, begin by reflecting on your interactions and considering where you might have imposed your own views too strongly. Make a conscious effort to ask others for their ideas and opinions and really listen when they share them. Acknowledge and celebrate the contributions of others, and when you make mistakes, admit them openly and seek to learn from them. Additionally, engage in practices that remind you of the broader perspective of life, where individual egos play only a small part. Meditation, mindfulness, and community service can all help cultivate a sense of humility. Practicing humility allows you to navigate life with a sense of peace and openness that can transform potential conflicts into opportunities for connection and growth. It not only helps in handling disrespect more gracefully, but also enriches your personal and professional relationships. Lesson 11. Letting go of ego. The 11th lesson in dealing with disrespect effectively revolves around the concept of letting go of ego. In Buddhist thought, the ego is often seen as a source of suffering and conflict. It binds us to our desires and can lead us to act in ways that are not in harmony with our true nature or with others. Letting go of ego means transcending our narrow self-interest to embrace a greater sense of connection and compassion towards others. This practice is particularly useful in situations where we feel disrespected or slighted. The ego can make us overly sensitive to criticism and perceived slights, leading to defensive or aggressive reactions. By letting go of ego, we reduce our vulnerability to these triggers and we are able to respond to situations with a clearer, more balanced perspective. Here's how letting go of ego can positively impact how you handle disrespect. Enhancing emotional resilience. Without the heavy burden of ego, you are less likely to take things personally. This detachment allows you to handle disrespect with greater composure and less emotional disturbance. Fostering compassion. Letting go of ego helps shift your focus from self-centered concerns to a more inclusive view that considers others' feelings and perspectives. This shift can foster greater empathy and compassion, making it easier to understand why someone might behave disrespectfully and respond appropriately. Promoting peaceful interactions. When you are not driven by ego, you are more likely to seek peaceful resolutions rather than conflicts. This can help de-escalate potentially volatile situations and lead to more constructive and respectful interactions. Encouraging genuine self-reflection. Letting go of ego paves the way for more honest self-reflection. Without the ego's need to always be right or superior, you can more openly evaluate your actions and their impacts, leading to deeper personal growth. To practice letting go of ego, start by observing moments when you feel particularly defensive or upset, and ask yourself whether these feelings are tied to egoic attachments or genuine concerns. Practice mindfulness and meditation to cultivate awareness and gain distance from ego-driven thoughts. Aim to approach interactions with humility and a willingness to listen and learn, rather than dominate or assert dominance. Additionally, engaging in acts of service can be a powerful way to reduce the influence of ego. By focusing on the needs of others, you can diminish self-centered thinking and enhance your capacity for empathy and understanding. Letting go of ego is not about diminishing yourself, but about realizing a greater version of yourself that can interact with the world in a more connected, peaceful, and respectful manner. This approach not only aids in handling disrespect more effectively, but also enriches your life with deeper relationships and a greater sense of inner peace. Lesson 12. Remembering Impermanence. The 12th lesson in our guide to handling disrespect draws from a core Buddhist principle, the understanding of impermanence. In Buddhism, acknowledging the transient nature of all things, including our emotions and life situations, can profoundly affect how we respond to and perceive conflicts and disrespect. This awareness encourages us to not get overly attached to or distressed by momentary incidents. Recognizing the impermanence of negative interactions can help us maintain perspective when faced with disrespect. It reminds us that the situation and our feelings about it are not permanent, and this too shall pass. This perspective can reduce the intensity of our emotional reactions and foster a more measured response. Here's how remembering impermanence can transform your approach to handling disrespect. Reducing emotional impact. Understanding that nothing lasts forever, including our own reactions and emotions, can lessen the emotional weight of disrespectful incidents. This awareness helps prevent these moments from dominating our thoughts and emotions long after they've occurred. Promoting forgiveness. With the knowledge that situations and people change, we can find it easier to forgive others for their transgressions. Recognizing that a person's disrespectful behavior might be due to temporary circumstances or emotions allows us to approach the situation with more grace and forgiveness. Encouraging flexibility in responses. The concept of impermanence teaches us that our initial reactions don't have to dictate our ongoing response. As circumstances evolve, so can our feelings and actions, allowing us to choose the most appropriate course of action as things unfold. Cultivating resilience. By internalizing the lesson of impermanence, we develop greater resilience. We learn to navigate life's ups and downs with a steadier heart and mind, knowing that each moment is fleeting and thus less likely to cause us lasting distress. To practice incorporating the concept of impermanence into your life, begin by observing how situations and emotions rise and fall in your own experiences. When you encounter disrespect or conflict, remind yourself that this situation is temporary and will change. Meditation can be particularly helpful in cultivating an awareness of impermanence, as it trains you to observe the coming and going of thoughts and feelings without attachment. Additionally, use moments of peace and happiness to reinforce the understanding that these, too, are impermanent. This can help you appreciate them more deeply without clinging to them, preparing you to handle more difficult times with a balanced perspective. By embracing the principle of impermanence, you not only learn to deal with disrespect more calmly, but also enhance your overall ability to cope with any life changes, leading to a more adaptable and resilient approach to life's challenges. Lesson 13. Learning from every situation. The 13th lesson in handling disrespect effectively is to view every interaction as a learning opportunity. This perspective is rooted in the idea that every experience, pleasant or unpleasant, holds valuable lessons that can contribute to our personal growth and understanding. By adopting this mindset, even moments of disrespect can be transformed into opportunities for deepening our wisdom and enhancing our life skills. When we approach situations with the intent to learn rather than react defensively, we open ourselves up to insights about human behavior, communication dynamics, and our own personal triggers. This approach can significantly alter our response to disrespect, leading to more constructive and less confrontational interactions. Here's how learning from every situation can improve your ability to handle disrespect. Enhancing self-awareness. Each instance of disrespect provides a mirror to our own reactions and vulnerabilities. By reflecting on these experiences, we can gain deeper insight into our own character and develop strategies to manage our responses more effectively. Improving communication skills. Disrespectful interactions often highlight areas where our communication could be improved. Whether it's learning to articulate our feelings more clearly, listening more attentively, or expressing our needs more assertively, each situation teaches us valuable skills. Building emotional intelligence. By analyzing our reactions and seeking to understand the motives and feelings of others, we enhance our emotional intelligence. This development is crucial for managing personal and professional relationships more effectively. Cultivating compassion and empathy. Understanding the complexities behind why people behave disrespectfully, such as stress, insecurity, or personal issues, allows us to develop greater compassion and empathy. This understanding can shift our perspective from one of judgment to one of support, changing how we interact with others. To practice learning from every situation, start by adopting a mindset of curiosity. After an encounter, ask yourself what you can learn from it. What did it teach you about your limits, your values, or your ability to handle stress? Write down these reflections if possible, as they can provide insights that you might miss in the heat of the moment. Additionally, seek feedback from trusted peers or mentors about how you handle difficult situations. Their perspectives can provide additional learning points and help you see angles you might not have considered on your own. Embracing every experience as a learning opportunity not only helps you handle disrespect more adeptly, but also contributes to a lifelong journey of self-improvement and personal mastery. This mindset turns everyday challenges into valuable lessons, making you wiser, more capable, and more resilient over time. Lesson 14. Helping others maintain their dignity. The 14th lesson in our exploration of handling disrespect is about helping others maintain their dignity, even in difficult situations. This practice is deeply aligned with Buddhist principles of compassion and respect for all beings. It involves recognizing and upholding the intrinsic value and worth of every individual, regardless of the circumstances. When we make a conscious effort to help others maintain their dignity, we create an environment of mutual respect and understanding. This approach can de-escalate potential conflicts and lead to more positive interactions, even when initially faced with disrespect. Here's how helping others maintain their dignity can transform interactions. Fostering respectful communication. By treating others with respect and consideration, even when they may not be doing the same, you set a powerful example. This behavior can encourage them to reciprocate and behave more respectfully, improving the quality of the interaction. Reducing hostility. Recognizing and respecting others' dignity can help reduce feelings of hostility. When people feel respected, they are less likely to act out aggressively and more likely to engage in constructive dialogue. Encouraging positive behavior. When individuals are treated with dignity, they are often inspired to reflect on their own behavior and possibly reconsider their actions. This can lead to a long-term positive impact on how they treat others in the future. Building stronger connections. Helping others maintain their dignity strengthens relationships and builds trust. It demonstrates that you value them as human beings, which can deepen bonds and foster a sense of community and cooperation. To practice this lesson, aim to be mindful of your actions and words in every interaction. Consider how your behavior might affect the self-esteem and emotional well-being of others. Strive to be kind and respectful, even in challenging situations, and look for ways to affirm the other person's self-worth. Additionally, be proactive in situations where you notice someone else's dignity is at risk. For example, if you see someone being belittled or disrespected, consider stepping in to offer support or changing the subject to diffuse the situation. Helping others maintain their dignity is not just about preventing disrespect, it's about actively creating a more compassionate and respectful world. This practice not only improves how you handle difficult situations, but also contributes to a broader culture of dignity and respect. By upholding these values, you help foster an environment where everyone can feel valued and respected. Lesson 15. Real-life applications. The 15th and final lesson in our series on handling disrespect effectively focuses on real-life applications of the principles we've discussed. This lesson is about putting into practice the lessons of mindfulness, compassion, patience, and understanding in everyday situations. By integrating these principles into your daily life, you can transform your approach to conflict and disrespect, leading to more harmonious and respectful interactions. Here are some practical ways to apply these Buddhist teachings in real-life scenarios. In the workplace. Utilize wise speech and mindfulness to navigate office politics and conflicts. For example, if a colleague speaks harshly, take a moment to breathe and respond calmly rather than reacting impulsively. Practicing patience can also help you deal with stressful work situations more gracefully. At home. Cultivate compassion and patience in your family interactions, especially during disagreements. Remembering the impermanence of moods and situations can help you manage domestic disputes with a calm and balanced approach. In social settings. Help others maintain their dignity by being inclusive and respectful in social gatherings. If you witness someone being disrespected, tactfully change the subject or offer a positive comment to shift the atmosphere. Online interactions. Apply the principle of non-confrontation in online forums or social media where disrespect can be common. Use wise speech by posting constructive comments or messages that foster understanding rather than division. In personal development, reflect on your own behavior regularly to learn from past interactions and improve how you handle future situations. This self-reflection will enhance your emotional intelligence and help you respond to disrespect more effectively. In community engagement, when involved in community issues or conflicts, strive to seek understanding, not victory. This approach can help resolve community disputes amicably and ensure that all parties feel heard and respected. To make these practices a part of your life, start small. Choose one or two principles that resonate with you the most and focus on applying them consistently. Over time, as these behaviors become more natural, expand your focus to include additional teachings. Real-life applications of these lessons not only help you handle disrespect more effectively, but also enrich your interactions, making your personal and professional relationships more fulfilling and peaceful. These practices foster a life where respect and understanding prevail, contributing to a more compassionate world. Thank you for joining us on this journey through this journey. We hope that these lessons have not only provided you with practical tools to handle challenging situations, but have also inspired you to cultivate a life filled with respect, compassion, and understanding. Each interaction we have is an opportunity to practice these principles, contributing not only to our personal growth, but also to creating a more harmonious world.